Taoiseach, as you know, the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Social Protection produced a report earlier this year on the Pension Commission recommendations. One of the key issues for the committee in overcoming our pension challenge over the next 50 years is the introduction of legislation banning the mandatory retirement in employment contracts, both new as well as retrospectively being applied to current work contracts, giving people the option, if they wish, to work beyond their present retirement age. It is the view of the committee members that it would be wrong to force people to retire at 65 and then have to wait until 68 to access a pension. The committee considered a technical paper produced by the Pensions Commission, which pointed out that while increasing the state pension age has the greatest impact on reducing pension expenditure, a substantial increase in the employment rate of older workers would also reduce future expenditure. This paper points out that the difference between increasing the pension age to 68 compared to increasing the employment rate of older workers by 10 percentage points over the next 50 years is just 0.3% of GNI star. This shortfall has already been made up thanks to the higher participation rates in our workforce revealed in by the CSO earlier this year. Now, surely if there was as much effort put into removing barriers to facilitate older people working longer as there has been in pushing up the retirement age, then we believe that it is within our capacity as a country to increase the number of older people working by an average of 1/5 of a percentage point a year. If we remove the forced requirement to retire at 65, many workers will continue to remain in employment, not just because of the changing nature of work, particularly here in Ireland, where we're moving from more manual employment to technology, even remote-based, which allows people to continue to physically work for far longer, but also because some of the financial realities of living in Ireland today mean that people will have to work longer to be financially secure in their retirement. Now, there is an argument that if you allow people to work beyond their 65th birthday, you are closing off promotion opportunities for younger staff in an organisation. However, the civil service has overcome this challenge for senior positions by filling such posts on a 7-year basis, thus allowing new thinking and younger people to compete for such roles. There is no reason why, for a change, the private sector can't take a leaf out of the public sector book. So my questions to you, Taoiseach, are: one, when will the government make a decision on the pension age eligibility? And secondly, will government introduce legislation banning retirement age in employment contracts? Thank you. Much appreciated.
Deputy Naughten, again, I'm in favour of what you said. Basically, I think we should not have. We should take away the legislative barrier to working, to facilitating people in the private sector to work longer. In the year 2000, Ireland was 16th in the European Union League table in life expectancy. This year, we're number 1 for life expectancy. I think that was 220 in 2020 of the figures. Now, that is something that I had to do a double take myself when I saw, because I didn't expect us to be number 1. And that's going to be the story for the next decade in terms of European life expectancy, and I think life expectancy generally, notwithstanding obesity and other challenges. So, like, the modern world has to reflect that. And but the only qualification I put into this is that I do get a sense that people want to cherry-pick the Pensions Commission for the more palatable aspects of it, but less inclined to cherry-pick it for the less palatable political implications of the Pensions Commission. So there's going to be difficulties ahead in following through. But governments will be making decisions. There will be decision time in the next number of weeks around the recommendations of the Pensions Committee. And I know your committee has actually reported on that, and there's a lot of issues there. But your point about actually, if you that technical paper that says that if you extend the work life, that there's no barrier to people working on, that has an impact in costs as well, and that reduces costs. Chairman.